Okay, we're back here in AI Made Simple.
Howdy.
And it's as simple as ABC. I'm Alan, this is Brian, you know us by now. And we have this one, AI Made Simple. As I mentioned, it is approved for 8 hours of continuing education in the state of Florida. So if you are needing your continuing education, either by the end of March or the end of September, because the licenses here in Florida, they renew at the end of September and at the end of March. And you've got to have 14 hours every 2 years. So if you're in that cycle and you want to get it on something other than residential real estate, then why not try to get it on AI? We have a course that has just recently been approved by the state in the first of its kind of AI Made Simple as ABC. And if you've taken any of our courses or been on the website, you understand that A means automation and accountability and agents. That's the letter A. B stands for bots, which are chat bots and robots. And then the C is how you craft your prompts with clarity. And we go over and tell you about large language models and AI mastery and essential tools and just everything that you will need in order to be very effective in the world of AI, because it's ever changing and it's not future, it is here, it's now. So in AI Made Simple that you are now going through, you will notice that it goes over everything from coaching to the actual tools that you would need. It even goes over into whether or not you want to write a book or write a storybook or just think anything that you think. It's almost like Napoleon Hill had something that he said, whatever the mind of man can conceive or believe, it can achieve.
True.
What does that mean?
Well, it just means that if you can bring it into your mind, you can make it happen in the real world. You got to be able to bring it to your mind, and you might need to know how to do it, but it can happen.
So how can AI help me to bring it into my mind?
AI starts going through all the different reiterations and the opportunities and the ways that you could look back. So you're getting a perspective. Hey, how did I make this happen? And it says, have you ever thought about this, Alan? Have you thought about that, Alan? Here's the data. And they're pulling from their large language model. They're pulling from all these resources, from Shakespeare to something that Steve Jobs once wrote and saying, how about this? How about this? It's phenomenal.
And you're right, and you can continue to ask it, say, okay, give me more, give me more, give me more. And it's almost endless. It just will continue to give it to you and give it to you and give it to you. And you know, like mind mapping, because the way that the mind works is that it doesn't work linear. It actually is reading. It kind of branches off so that if I started a mind map and I said, when I say the word chair, what is the first word that comes to your mind?
Legs.
Okay, legs. So that's good.
Right.
But that chair, that would be one branch of that word.
Right.
But now someone may say rocking, someone may say wood, and every one of those branches could have words, and it goes on and on and on. That's just like AI. As if you start to dig deep into it, it can go down a rabbit hole that you're sitting there like, wow, this is phenomenal, because you don't know that you don't know until you start asking a question. So it's very awesome when you can sit there and just say, let me see how deep I can go. I talk about NLP in this book as well, in AI Made Simple. NLP, not as in natural language processing, which means that it thinks like natural language, meaning you can talk to it like you talk with a human being. You can have it natural language processing. But I talk to it as in NLP, meaning neuro linguistic programming, because I'm a master trainer of neuro linguistic programming. And it's really interesting that how machines kind of think and have been created to mimic humans. So sight, the same senses that we have, your sight, your hearing, your touch, your taste, what have you, your smell, they're trying to actually mimic those things with artificial intelligence. Sight is facial recognition.
Right.
It's like facial recognition, the same. And if you want to look at touch, they've got things that now you've got robots that have a touch, so that they have to learn how to touch. So if they're picking up an egg, it's different than if they're picking up a bag of bricks or what have you. There's certain things that they're constantly doing that this is getting better and better and better. So the time to embrace technology and AI is now, and to understand, to make it simple so that you're not overwhelmed as we heard actually AI tell us, don't get overwhelmed by thinking that you've got to learn all of the tools in one, that you got to learn it all at one time. This is the reason I say you got to silence the noise. You got to screen out everything that's coming there in that fire hose of AI been pushed in your mouth and say, get this, get this, get this, get this. Get all of these tools, and then you're left with tools as you exit the industry because you couldn't make any money, but you have a lot of tools.
There's a lot.
And so you're selling the people the tools, and then you'll always see that there's something that is out there that you may not know, or something that's being invented right now as you're thinking about it.
Always new stuff coming up.
Let's get her back here. I really want to ask her something here.
Real quick, why don't you give a quick definition of neuro-linguistic programming? You got that. You and I know that real well. You know it really well because it's certified, but just like a couple sentences so people understand.
A couple of sentences of neuro-linguistic programming. Neuro comes from the mind, linguistics from language, and programming from the IT world of using language to program the mind. Every single word has a feeling associated with it. If I were to say, you want to go to work today, that word work has a feeling based on how you see your work. If I say you want to go on vacation, vacation has another feeling based on how you see vacations. Every single word has a feeling associated with it. You can program things by words. That's the linguistic part of neuro-linguistic programming. If you said something like, I hate you, that's different than I love you. And it will cause that person to feel a certain way based on how they process that word through their own points of reference. There's a lot of things. You can do embedded commands where you can actually talk and get beneath and speak to the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is highly suggestible. Conscious mind is not so much. The conscious mind is that one that says, no, prove it, prove it, prove it. You say, I'm this, I'm that, prove it, prove that to me. I want proof because proof beats promise every time. Prove to me that you're the best mortgage broker in the world, you're the best business broker, you're this, prove it, prove it. So it does that, and it pushes back. Whereas the subconscious mind does not. Well, how do you get to the subconscious mind? Well, I'm glad you asked that, Brian.
Okay.
Here's how you bypass the critical factor, which is the conscious mind, and you speak to the subconscious mind. There's 3 ways to do it. One is stories. That's why a lot of times when you're telling stories, a person, the guard at the gate of your conscious mind, feels as if it's only a story. That's why news put news stories. They put the negative news in the form of a story.
Right.
You're easy to listen to that. You're like, it's a story. Or you're the little kid and you say, story time, it's story time. And they run there to hear a story. So you can lace the message inside the story so stories work. And it bypasses the critical factor. The guard at the gate that says, no, 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 prove it, prove it, prove it, says, it's only a story, let it through. And when it comes through, anything that bypasses the conscious mind and gets to the subconscious mind becomes something you believe. And when you believe it, it becomes your belief system, which where it comes limiting beliefs and things of that nature. So what you do in neuro-linguistic programming, you use words to bypass the critical factor, which is the conscious mind, to speak to that highly suggestible subconscious mind. Now, you also 2 other things that bypasses it, not only stories, but it is also music. Music bypasses the critical factor. This is the reason that once upon a time they started saying that, hey, wait a minute, we got to bring these people up on charges because the lyrics of their music cause them to do this or cause them to do that. Well, why did the lyrics get to that person? Because of the music. People feel music is non-threatening. So, I would speak to a group of at-risk kids, and I go out and I speak to the at-risk kids and what have you. And this was a group that was really really rough, fighting all day and what have you. The principal said, how did you reach them? Was it all of that psycho, babble, mumble, jumble you said in the beginning, or what? I said, no, I could relate to them. And I bypassed their critical factor of their conscious mind, and I spoke to their subconscious mind by using music. And here's the thing. I said, I was talking with him and what have you. Then I said a hip, a hop, a hippie to the hip, and a hip, a hoppy. You don't stop the rockin' to the bang, bang, boogie. Say, the boogie to the rhythm, but the boogie to beat. I see what you hear is not a test. I'm rapping to the beat. and me, the groove, and my friends were going to try to move your feet. They were doing like this. People all doing like this. The teachers doing like this. And I just bypassed their critical factor, and they let me in to speak to their subconscious mind. Then the third thing that actually bypasses the critical factor and gets to the subconscious mind is cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is when you send that mental cross current that is going on, that the guard at the gate is confused. They don't know what to do. So at that time, you can enter and actually go right in beneath that. This is what hypnosis does. I'm also a master hypnotist. Don't look in my eyes. No, I'm not. No, but actually, so bottom line is that you can, you can bypass. I ain't gonna have you clucking like a chicken or anything like that. But as you know, one of our best friends is one of the most powerful hypnotists in the world, and I met him through this. Things are dealing with energy. Energy is an interesting thing. You can start processing things in your mind and thinking a certain thought, and you will find people that are in harmony with that dominant thought, not even realizing, like, you ever thought about a person and thought about a person, all of a sudden the phone rings, it's like, wait a minute, I was just thinking of you. There's so many things that happen, and neuro-linguistic programming is a great thing. We have a topic on that. We actually have a course that fundamentals of communication that we have actually deals with some neuro-linguistic programming, and it goes a lot deeper than that. It talks about the words, power words, words matter, hypnotic words, and things of that nature. So make sure that you also engage in fundamentals of communication, try, track, and modify, and the resumercial and business broker agent. You get all of that, you get these AI courses, you've got a competitive edge on the industry because they don't know this. You put this kind of thing in your presentation, but be ethical, be transparent, be honest with people, but help them to help themselves. Because there's a lot of people don't know that they need you, and they need you. And when you're equipped with this kind of stuff and the integrity, the transparency, and you can be trusted, and you got the knowledge, you are just an asset to our industry. So do that. So back to this. We got her back.
Where she's ready. I think she's ready. You ready for us?
Is she there? Hey, AI, are you there? ChatGPT.
I'm right here. No worries at all, I'm with you. If you need anything else or have any more questions, just let me know.
All right. Get ready.
Okay, tell us about neuro-linguistic programming. What is that all about?
Sure. So neuro-linguistic programming, often called NLP, is basically a way of understanding how people think, communicate, and behave. It looks at the connection between our neurological processes, that's the neuro, our language, the linguistic part, and our learned behavioral patterns, that's the programming, to help people achieve specific goals. So it's often used in coaching, in therapy, in sales, and in personal development to help people reframe how they think or communicate, and ultimately to improve their outcomes. So it's kind of a toolbox for understanding and gifting human behavior.
That is great. And does that fit anywhere with AI, or could you use the both together?
Yeah, absolutely. You can definitely blend it a bit. So NLP, the human kind, not the natural language processing kind, is all about how we communicate and think. And AI, especially things like chatbots or conversational AI, is all about understanding and generating language. So you can actually use principles of NLP to design more natural, more empathetic AI interactions. In other words, you can kind of teach AI to communicate in a way that's more in tune with how humans naturally think and talk. So yeah, they can definitely complement each other in that way.
That's great. Let me ask you this. What about a workflow and how it relates or how it correlates with the habit loop? I mean, you have a trigger, you've got rules and things of that nature, you got an output, and then you got a habit loop. I mean, how are they similar or the same or what?
Yeah, that's a really interesting connection. So if you think about a workflow, it's basically a sequence of steps you follow to get something done. And if you look at a habit loop, it's kind of like a behavioral workflow. You have a trigger or a cue that starts the habit, then you have a routine or a set of actions you take, and then you get some kind of reward or outcome that reinforces it. So they're similar in that Both involve a sequence of steps that lead you from a starting point to a result, and understanding that can help you design better workflows by using the same principles that make habits stick. It's all about creating a clear trigger, a set of repeatable steps, and a rewarding outcome.
There you go. No, I'm good. I love NLP, and I love the way we use all this AI to get to what we do. One of the things I like is I can think of what I want to say to somebody, and sometimes I'm very analytical, so I have all the facts, but I run it through ChatGPT, through your system, and I say, hey, I want to be compassionate, I want to be sensitive, and it just reframes it in a way that says, oh yeah, that's exactly what I want to say. I want to show that I care. I don't want to say the word, selling them on an idea versus convincing them that it's a good investment and that sort of thing. Just reframes it in a great way. So it's a great place to check out what you do. Isn't that right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that you're using it that way. It's a perfect example of how AI can kind of be your sounding board and help you fine tune your message. So yeah, it's really about taking what you already have in your head and just adding that little layer of warmth or clarity or whatever tone you're going for. And it's great to hear it's working well for you.
That's great. Well, thank you. And guys, AI made simple. The real key to this is just have AI and make it as simple as ABC. We talk about it. We talk about a lot of things because we both combine over 100 years of experience in this industry, and not just in the real estate industry, but as leaders in the industry, presidents and this and that, and you name it. We've done a lot of things, but it's by the grace of God we got a chance to do a whole lot of things and train a lot of individuals that are out there that's training individuals, and we're paying it forward, and we love that. And we love the fact that you entrusted upon us to even be here with us now. We would ask that you continue to do the quizzes in the back of this. You have quizzes, you have challenges, and also if you want to get on a call with us, hey, feel free to do so. We'll help you to navigate this complexity, but we'll make it simple because Thompson Education and Consulting Group, we make it as simple as ABC. Whatever you've got to learn in this industry, we've begun to understand how you can take complex or what should be complex concepts, and we can make them simple so that you understand. Even just like we looked at that going from a habit loop to a workflow and made that correlate so in the minds of an individual it said that makes sense. There is a cue or a trigger that starts every habit that you have. And if you want to change anything, you got to change the routine. Get the same or similar reward so that you change the routine and you're not missing anything. So those dopamine hits that you're looking for, you're just getting them in a different place. So we got a lot of things that we can talk to you about. And we'll talk to you on the next one about the top 100 ways to use AI. And that's a bonus, is if you have actually come through and you've went through every one of these courses and got your mastery certification, you will also get 100, it's really about 150 ways that you can use AI in every day and anyway. So you've got a lot of things.
Amazing.
So we'll see you with that in just a few moments.